Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, the legendary crow is after Roe and a bag full of pigeons. We've got new Stump, we've got Hallo Charlie, we've got hunting YouTube. First, I'm on a mission to make Rook and Roe pie. The branches that can nearly but not quite fly head out of the nest in mid-May and should make easy targets for airguns. That's why son Edmund and I take the airgun to the wood to try to shoot a couple for the pot. Going back 700 years, and Rook was a popular dish. Medieval kitchens cooked all sorts of stuff unusual by our standards, and the tradition was to send small boys up trees to grab branches, which they say is as good as pigeon, but unfairly discriminated against because of their colour. But times have changed, and instead of boys, we have boys' toys. Darren took these shots of the young birds in their nests using his quadcopter. So cool. Going back 7 years, and if you want an example of why the country is going to hell in a dog basket, why there are indeed blackbirds over the greyish cliffs of Dover, Gordon Ramsay was investigated for shooting branches for the pot. Technically, you can only shoot rooks if they are an agricultural menace. Now, I know what you're thinking. Surely we could have got Ramsay on something by now. Happily for Edmund and me, there are no blue flashing lights. The ARU remains in the helipad coffee lounge and the lad stays out of the Young Offenders Institute for a few more days. What saves the rooks is their name, branches. There is such a tangle of ash and beech branches in this wood, we can't get an airgun pellet near them. So the dogs get back in the car and we head home for a rethink. And that rethink has me replacing Ed with the new Fieldsports Channel intern, Tom, and replacing the airgun with shotguns. Of course, the problem with using a shotgun is that one bang and the birds lift into the air. All the branches that up to now had been too nervous to take off suddenly find the gift of flight. We wait and we wait for the birds to come back into range. The heifers take a keen interest. Not sure I can do this with an audience. Eventually, the dogs take matters into their own hands. They find an unlucky young rook on the ground and peg it. Now, shooting rooks on low branches with shotguns or even grabbing them off the floor is easy sport for the month of May. I am going somewhere with this. I have got a few scraps of game in the freezer I want to clear out, and I need a few more to make a game pie. I go out with my dad to his wood to look for a Roebuck. As we walk in towards the wood, two Roebuck race out of it, passing us at 20 feet. Then one chases the other over the road and returns. It's limping. As it comes down the fence line, I move into position. I shoot it at 25 yards and it goes straight down. There you are, Roebuck are easy. Now, back to the slightly trickier question of branches.
You don't want any rooks.
Now for the cookery. Don't get excited. This is Gordon Ramsay's rook salad, which he does with the benefit of the finest ingredients and a Channel 4 TV budget. We don't have Gordon, we have Tom, who is joining us for 2 months on a work placement from the Royal Agricultural College at Somerset, where he is studying food. He is a qualified chef. He is also a student. How does the modern student cook rook?
It'll probably taste distinctly average, I think, is the best way to describe it.
Well, you will have to take my word for it, it was delicious. And something else that some people find delicious, no, that's wrong. David, on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. 6 people have been arrested after wild boars were set free during a burglary at a farm in Wales. farmer Greg Davis said that more than 40 of his animals could be roaming the area after they were released from their pen following a break-in. The British wild boar population is thriving, and viewer Dave Hill sent in these pictures of wild boar tiptoeing through the bluebells on Exmoor in the west of England. Staying on Exmoor, and a deer stalker has shot an interesting malform. Viewer Stuart Parrish of Exmoor sent in these pictures of a strange-looking roebuck. One antler has grown normally, but the other has grown down the side of its head. It's time to spread the love and introduce someone else to shooting. National Shooting Week takes place from the 24th to the 31st of May. Organised by the Countryside Alliance, it includes reduced rates at playgrounds all over the country. Visit nationalshootingweek.co.uk for more. Lawmakers in Louisiana have declared fox pen hunting as part of the state's folklife heritage. The sport involves training hunting dogs to pursue foxes in fenced-in preserves. The foxes are chased up trees and are seldom killed. Norway is on course to repeal its ban on lead shot. The main political party in Norway wants the ban lifted outside wetlands and clay shooting grounds. The Norway Hunters Association successfully argued that the amount of lead discharged throughout the countryside has a negligible impact on the environment. Meanwhile, Denmark plans to ban tungsten shot as well as lead shot. Global warming may hit roe deer populations across Europe. Almost extinct in parts of Europe in the late 17th century, the roe deer bounced back and today is one of the most widespread deer on the continent. However, it's not adapting to climate change. In Champagne and eastern France, hotter temperatures over the past few decades has resulted in earlier springs. But the timing of roe deer births has remained unchanged, and according to a team of scientists from France and UK, fewer roe kids are surviving. Residents in Newquay in Cornwall have found themselves battling against an infestation of massive rodents. They're worried the supersized vermin are becoming increasingly bold, and a new housing development may have disturbed the rats, which are now prowling the resort and terrorising people. The rat population has boomed since the council stopped providing a free extermination service. Got a problem bear in your backyard? The state government of Wisconsin is holding Learn to Bear Hunt courses throughout the state in the upcoming months. You have to be over 10 years old and you will learn how to read bear sign, check bear baits, handle hound dogs. You will practice safe firearm handling and receive target shooting tips. Apply at dnr.wi.gov. And finally, a motorist in Finland stopped his car to film this woodcock. He was playing music in the car and it appears to be dancing. Thanks to viewer Nick Warren for sending it in. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now let's see what you lot have been up to. It is Hallo Charlie.
Hello Charlie, it's Paul up in Scotland. It's a cold wet one, but we're doing some deer control on reds.
Hello Charlie.
Hi Charlie. Doing okay.
Hello Charlie. I'm Paul.
I'm Luke.
And we're both age 15 and we bought, what stun is it again?
Just I'm just 400.
And I've just shot 2 rabbits with one shot, as you can see here. 2 lovely little rabbits.
Hello Charlie, this is Phil here, out stalking a few rabbits tonight. Any call visits who come their way as well? Anyway, good night from sunny Dorset.
Hello Charlie, Paul,
Callum, George.
doing a bit of feral pigeon control at a local dairy farm for the farmer, using the NS200, cracking bit of kit. Bye Charlie.
Bye Charlie.
Bye Charlie.
Hello Charlie, Paul from Hampshire here. Lovely sunny evening. Just out for a walk with my new rifle. It's been a good night. Keep up the good work.
Hello Charlie, it's Adam from Manchester. Just taking my friend Danny out on his first planting expedition.
Hello Charlie, Richard here in the Chilterns in Hertfordshire. 5,000 acres of National Trust vermin shooting, which I hardly ever get out on. And there's not terribly much about today.
It's Hammy here, having a nice rough shoot out here in Norfolk. Been a bit of a quiet day though.
Send us your own Hallo Charlie. Film yourself on your mobile phone, just a sentence saying Hallo Charlie, who you are and what you're up to. Then share it or email it via YouTube, Facebook, Dropbox, or you send it, you name it, to charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. And please keep sending those videos in. Next up, crows out after pigeons. These days, Captain Crow is resorting to aerial surveillance to find his pigeons. And it's working. There are hundreds of birds up here in North Kent, but they're not all wood pigeons, and today is going to be as much about species identification as it is shooting.
Stock doves got a lot faster wing beat, and wood pigeons have got a slower wing beat.
Crow doesn't want to waste his game boar shells on ferals, and the stock doves are protected. Now he's parked his chopper, let's start with why this is the place for us today.
We've used grain maize last year for the cover crop, and it's just yellow. So what they're doing, they're feeding on the peas all day and then coming out here just for a last feed to get a bit of protein out of the maize. So we thought we'd get here now, it's 3:30, get set up for a few hours and see how we get on. It's looking quite promising. Wind's in their backs, or in their sides really, so everything's going to come up from the wood, come up through. Got a big ash tree here, which they're made for. I've had a lot of good days here, so I know they will make for these ash trees, so if I can shoot 15, 20 pigeons, I'll be happy. I haven't been shooting the gun much this year, so it'd be nice just to, well, it is nice just to get out and have a few bangs really.
So it's a combination of flight lines, wind, food and timing. If you don't know when they're filling their crops with your crops, you will waste a lot of time looking at sky and not the satellite TV version. Crow has defrosted a few real birds for the pattern, as well as his decoys.
Got a long hazel stick, goes in its back passage, goes right the way up through, out the front of the rib cage, right up its neck, into its head. Stick it in the ground, break both of its wings. Like that, like that. It blows in the wind. It's just a bit of movement.
His whirly is either being held together by tape or there is some crow sense behind it.
I've watched people using whirlies and they're like a flashing mirror going round. It's all mine. I'll get my tape. I'll get mine from A1, but you can get them from anywhere. Just a tape, camouflage tape. I'll just wind it right the way along. It just stops it glinting. Because every time it goes round, there's somewhere where it goes round, it catches the sun, so that's why mine are all taped up. And it doesn't matter what you paint it with, it still shines.
Interesting, and if you have ever wondered what it's like to be impaled on a whirly and spun around, hold on tight. With us today is sporting shooter editor Dom Holtam. He's not brought a gun, which is a shame as there's so much for the pigeons to feed on that keeping the birds focused in one spot might be a problem.
Come on, David!
That was the issue on our last outing. However, there are definitely more birds on the move and they do seem to be decoying this time.
Keep chipping away at them like that, we might get 50 or 60. Well, now we're going to get at least a dozen because we've got that about now. So.
Crow gets some nice shots with his Lincoln Deluxe, which has served him well during this series of Crow How.
Oh, have that. You want it? Right.
The wind direction dictates that most of the birds are coming in from our right. Some stay our side of the shore, others drop the other side to come in from behind.
The ideal place would have been the wind behind us, coming from behind, and the pigeons would have been coming from in front then, instead of like that one, coming from behind.
Crow has to be quick to react to the birds which are motoring in the wind. He throws the Lincoln around to get onto each one while identifying if it is indeed a woody. In front, the identification is easy for him. When they drop in from behind, it's much tougher. Someone else who's in a hurry is this buck chasing a doe. The wind is clearly up him too. There is talk about going stalking, but we think we're about to run out of luck dodging the rain showers. With the sky looking ominous, we start to pack up. We've been out here for about 4 hours.
Yeah, it's been a good afternoon. But this maize here will last them, well, the amount of maize there is here. But this isn't the only cover crop, it'll probably last them a month, so they'll be on that now till the peas are flowering and they start feeding on them. So, but no, it's been a good afternoon.
The clear up reveals one of the biggest bags he's had in a long time, 80 plus birds, and he must be happy as he's even treating us to some karaoke. Or should that be carry croaky?
Yes, I love you and I think that you know, yes you know, with your love.
From the West Country to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, it is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. Schools Challenge champion of champions Sam Mullins won a Bowman clay pigeon trap at the recent Breedon leg of the Schools Challenge. To watch that, click on the link on the screen. Now, he has made a film of him using the new trap, using some of the skills that gave him an average 48x50 at 2 clay events. He has only been shooting for 7 months. The shooting show gives us its take on bronzer shooting, saving a local pea field 1 rook at a time. Next, we're off to Scotland, where Hunt Shoot Fish is eye-scoping rabbits along walls and hedgerows. Rabbit after rabbit falls over, and he is honest enough to show the ones that don't. Now abroad, Hunting Stories is after deer and boar in this film designed to plug his hunting agency. To Turkey, where Bill Alarabachi is filming partridge shooting over pointers. The dog work is good, though they do run in a bit. My spaniels would never do that, heaven forfend. Downwind Outdoors has had some trouble producing the outstanding films it likes to present, so its Eastern coyote hunting with AR-15 is its first after a long fallow winter. This film shows it is back in action. I'm a big fan of Bunny Hunter, who is here duck hunting in Hurricane Marsh, Wisconsin. This event was for the local vets of the Wounded Warrior Project, vets being the American veterans in this situation, not veterinarians. And finally, staying in the USA, Steve Gould meets Annie Oakley. Trick shooter Steve tries the mirror shot using a mirror to aim over his shoulder at a target that is behind him. Annie Oakley made the shot famous. Let's see if Steve can pull it off. And can you? You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you're missing the fishing films and the airgun films, watch our new shows, Airheads and Fishing Britain. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, you saw the clever plug for Schools Challenge in there. Among our other shows, we've got Fishing Britain.
Thank you, Charlie. Today we're on Draycott Water in the Midlands near Rugby, and we're out trout fishing. Now, one of the big questions I get asked is, what fly do I put on? What do I use? Here's a few pointers for you. Before you go out to float, check in the harbour. Can you see any insects? Turn over a few stones, see anything? Or when you get out here, have a look in the water. Have a look to see if you see any buzzer shucks. Now the shuck is where the buzzer has hatched and flown away, but it'll give you an indication of what size they are. Better still, catch a fish, then spoon it. You get a marrow spoon, stick it down into its stomach, rotate it a couple of times. Now to make it easier to spot what's in there, put it in the baler, water in the baler, wash it out. That'll separate all the buzzers. Now in this fish was some small olives. Now you're not going to represent them because they're too small, but there are a couple of big black ones, a couple of big olives. So that's what the fish are feeding on. That's what you put on, then you'll have a successful day. However, having seen all those buzzers, which would probably be a size 10, why then am I going to be fishing with this monster? Well, if you want to find out, click on the link here. Or check out Fishing Britain every Friday night, 7 PM, here on Fieldsports Channel.
Click on the link on the screen to watch Fishing Britain, and click on the link on the screen to watch Airheads. There are rats in our dockyards. One of them, the dockyards, not the rats, calls up rat shooter Darren Rogers to bring along his nighttime kit to sort them out. Night vision, PCP, you name it, he is kitted up. That's not all. We've got gas ram action, and it's nothing to do with smelly sheep. James Marchington compares gas ram with ordinary springers and PCPs. And guest stars include Dave Craze of Ronnie Sunshine's, Peter Zammit of the Airgun Centre, Tony Beelis of Daystate, Lord Ted of Holdover, Sir Terence Doe, and the various serfs, villains and slaves, including David on the news Stump. Well, we are back next week, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button that's somewhere around the outside of the screen, or go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or pop your email address into the constant contact box, and we will constantly contact you about our programme that's out 7 PM every Wednesday UK time. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.
Silver lining so me clouds don't let me go. Oh no.